and it seemed like she was starting to move. And I was like, oh, this is it. Like she's coming out of it. She's coming out of it. But then her like oxygen levels started to drop. And she had like an oxygen machine. I feel like kind of like a little like naive. I'm like doing everything I can, right? Like cranking up her oxygen to like to see if that would work. And it wasn't. And she passed away. And I don't feel like there was that kind of like, I don't know, like, cause it still seemed like a surprise. Like probably a lot of other people, it didn't seem like a surprise because she looked like pretty sick. But we just had a bunch of these like really unique experiences to where I was just like full confident. Like, I'm like, no, she's like making it through this. She's making it through this. So like those things never really like, I don't know. I just like believed in that.
Yeah.
And so then when it finally did happen, it was like a pretty big shock.
Hey everybody, it's me, Shay. Welcome to Grief Witnessed, where we remember, where we tell the stories, and where grief is allowed to exist without fixing it. All right, everybody, I am here today with my widowed friend, Colby Bell. He's just going to share with us a little bit about his story of his late wife, Emily M, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So before we get into like the whole story, tell me your favorite things about M.
I mean, there's a lot. She
list it all.
Yeah. I mean, she really pushed me to step out of my comfort zone. When I look back at like our marriage and our life, that's the biggest thing is I was always pretty okay to stay like in my comfort zone. And she would push me out of that. Whether it's career, just growth, learning, like we were a really good team in some ways. So the one thing I loved about like us working together was, I would usually think things through first, and she was like, let's just do this. So like kind of like the combo of the two was like a really good thing.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think I'd probably get a lot of stuff, or I wouldn't have started on a lot of things had she not been just like, let's just do it and we'll figure it out. Like,
she was pretty spontaneous.
Yeah. If she wanted to do something, she would do it. Like, it wasn't like, maybe, or like thinking through the logistics. She was like, I want to do that. And
tell me about your guys' page, because you have like a family Bell page, right?
Yep.
Tell me how that started.
So in 2018, I got a remote job. So my career was working. Well, that was, I guess, a preface. So she was the one that challenged me to get, so I was an architect before. She challenged me to step out of that because I didn't like it and to go into, so I went into software tech, like designing software. And we'd always dreamed about, because we had traveled a lot. Like we had a goal when we first got married that we would leave the country at least once a year. This is even like during college. So like that was kind of like what we would spend our money on, was taking these trips out of the country. And then we had often dreamed about going to places far away, but more than just like a vacation. We were like, well, we want to spend more than a week places or things. She had taught English in Taiwan, and I had visited her there and stuff before we were married. And so we just kind of always, had this like dream. And when I started working in tech, I found a couple people that had like kept their job, but would just work remote, and they would like travel Europe and stuff and just work remote. And so I got this job back in 2018 where it was full-time remote, and we were expecting our third. And during that year, as we were I think there was still like a few more months left before she was going to be born. We kind of just had this like, why are we living here? Because we lived in Farmington at the time. And we were like, if like we don't, like for work, we don't need to be here, why are we living here? So initially I had put it out, let's move to Hawaii. Like, I'm from California. I love the beach. I love warm weather. And so I was like, let's just move to Hawaii for a year. Let's buy a place. If it doesn't work out, it'll be like a rental. It'll be like an investment or something. And she was kind of like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like very real. Like, I don't know. She just was like, I don't know. I don't see it. And then one day I was like, all right, should we just like go live in a country like every month and just whatever? And she was like, yes. And I was like totally off the whim. Like, wait, no, that was just like, I'm not serious about that. And she's like, no, I think we should do that. And so that was like one of those things too, where stepping out of the comfort zone. Cause like we sold all of our stuff.
Wow.
And then we were like, all right, we gave ourselves like 3 months when we committed to it. We're like, all right, we're committing to this. So we sold all our stuff, found renters for our house, and then started traveling. Our youngest, she was 5 months old. So when we started traveling, and then so we did a country a month for 7 months. And that's where like our channel started, like the page. So we have an Instagram page, we have a YouTube channel, and it was all about just kind of documenting that. Kind of all came to a halt 7 months into it. We came back for some family stuff, and then she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then we were like, oh no. I guess we can't travel anymore. So what are the countries you guys lived in? So Costa Rica, we spent some time in Hawaii, Fiji, so we were kind of like following the weather, and we were staying in kind of warm weather, but Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, went back to Taiwan, and then back to Hawaii, and then came back. And then, we were like booking Europe and stuff. That was what the next bit when she was diagnosed.
Wow.
So,
okay. Yeah. So tell me about, her process to get diagnosed. Like what signs and symptoms did she have?
Yeah.
How was that?
She just felt, and she had so she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Yeah. And so she had like her tissue checked out other times in years previous when things kind of felt weird, or like if a doctor would say like, I think we need to like look more at this, and never came back with anything. Did she
have dense tissue?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, but they never like biopsied anything like these other times. They just like did deeper scans or whatever. But we were I know for sure we were in Taiwan when she was kind of like, she's like, this feels different. Just kind of had the feeling like I need to get this looked at. But we were in Taiwan, and it's kind of just kind of medical stuff. But we were heading back we were going to the Big Island of Hawaii on the way, kind of like as a stopping point. Which was nice in terms of like kids. So we weren't jumping time zones too much. So like it wasn't this huge adjustment each time. We looked a little bit while we were in the Big Island just to get it checked out. And she's like, I'm just going to go to my doctor when we get back to Utah. And like we were back, she'd scheduled it while we were in Hawaii. And then, like a week or two in when we were back. Yeah. Okay. Got diagnosed.
Okay. What stage was it?
2.
Oh, it was stage 2.
I want to say, cause it was like I guess a decent size. I can't, like so long ago. Yeah. I forget so many of the details.
What year was?
So this is in 2019.
Okay. 2019. Okay. So, 2019. And when did M pass?
2023. 2023. So basically 4 years from about almost exactly like when she was diagnosed, and it was pretty like treatable. Like we saw a whole slew of doctors, for different, wanted to go different routes, I guess. And then, we probably chose a more unconventional route. Like, so we like spent a bunch of time in like Cancun at some clinics she had found down there. So we kind of have a few different, so there's like that initial bit of like our Lost Bells page where we traveled internationally, and then came back home and got things kind of like where she had some certain protocols set in place to where she was doing stuff at home, but we were still like feeling like this itch. Cause she was really healthy. Like nobody would have ever, if you would have seen her, nobody would have known like she had cancer. She's probably like the healthiest she had been in like in her whole life. During that, like there's like a 3-year stint before it like spread and got really bad.
Yeah.
And in that second bit, cause we were wanting to still do stuff, but treat her cancer and whatnot. And so, we like renovated a school bus and then like traveled around kind of the northwestern states.
Yeah. Wow. You guys that sounds really intentional with your time.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. Tell me how was your thoughts and your processing when M was diagnosed?
Oh yeah. And I think we even have some videos of that, but like, I always felt like pretty peaceful about it, which I was like, we're going to be all right. Like, we're going to be all right. And I always felt that way. And I had a lot of experiences that confirmed that. And so that was a really confusing part to me actually when she did pass away.
Yeah.
Because we both never felt like she was going to pass away.
Oh yeah.
So
that is really hard.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird.
Religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, religiously that's hard.
Yeah.
Your thought of like, we're going to be all right was meaning she's going to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, initially, like there wasn't a lot of stress with it. It was fairly early on and stuff. And so, and yeah, we felt really good about the route she went, with some of the more like, it wasn't like completely like Eastern medicine, but it was just not as conventional. It wasn't like chemo and radiation to begin with, or surgery. But it was for the first couple of years, it was really good. Like the tumor was shrinking and all of the different markers and stuff were going down with all the different protocols she was doing. It was just really taxing. I want to say it was like, she spent about 2 years doing that. So we would like, Cancun kind of became like our second home. Like we moved there too for like, we took a break from the bus.
Yeah.
Just so she could just kind of go to the clinic and stuff. And yeah, we put our kids in school down there, and like we just lived in Cancun for a little while.
You guys are so brave.
It was awesome. She got kind of like, cause it was a lot, like even when we were like, she was doing stuff every day, different like treatments and stuff. And just supplement and just a lot of stuff. Like that was still a huge part of like our daily routines was that. And so she then started to kind of look more into like surgery again, or traditional. And yeah, she ended up doing a certain, like a chemo embolization treatment. And then.
Did she ever do Red Devil? I think that's where Red Devil, I think people usually lose their hair.
Oh, for the chemo?
Yeah.
So this was a one. So yeah, this wasn't like a fully like systemic chemo. It's like they inject it directly into the tumor.
Oh, okay.
They go through like an artery. But it's really hard to say, but it was about like a month or two after she did that, we found out it had just like spread everywhere. And so like sometimes when you can do invasive things, it can trigger spread. And so that's kind of like my theory is.
Okay.
Cause she was like, nothing had spread. Everything was like getting better.
Yeah.
Until we tried like a
Western. Medicine. Yeah. That like Tanner we always did, Western traditional medicine. So I don't really know any different. I know it's like hell on the body.
Sure.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Eastern medicine's brutal as well.
Yeah. I mean, we knew like we had like a huge team, like to where she had like oncologists and surgeons. Like we would consult like with every decision. It was like, she had doctors in Cancun. She had doctors here. We had other like naturopaths, and like, it was kind of like we would, I guess, like address like the council almost, like, and kind of see and get the feedback and kind of go with what felt right. Cause she wasn't ever like, I will not do this, or I will not do this. It was kind of just like, she went with what felt right. Cause then, she did want to get she had come to terms. She's like, I think I'm ready I'll just do like a mastectomy. And then, but when she went in to do that, that's like when we found out it had spread. Yeah. So
like spread beyond the breast.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I'm curious, how much caregiving did you have to do?
So, I mean, the first 3 years, like not a ton.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't know, like, I mean, we would travel to Cancun, like just kind of certain things, or help the kids when she was doing treatments or things like that. But the last year, I mean, a ton. So it was, cause it had like spread into her spine and stuff. So she had a hard time walking. She'd like broken back and stuff. And so, yeah.
Oh, Colby, that's so hard.
Yeah. So, I got laid. The job I had when I was working remote for those, like, it was like 4 years. I got laid off like 2 months before it got really bad, which we were like, sweet. Like, this is because we'd kind of wanted to do our own thing anyways. And so it was kind of good because, I wasn't working full time.
You could just spend a lot of time with her.
So yeah, I mean, initially, like, she could still do stuff, and she was like, if anybody knows her, like, yeah, she was like crazy resilient and just wanted, very independent, and would just want to like do stuff like on her own.
Yeah.
Even just like cleaning. She's like, I just want to be able to clean. Like,
oh, bless her heart.
Yeah. And then it slowly got like, so that last year, I mean, it was like, we were in and out of the hospital, like constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then she just got less and less like able to do things on her own. So like, just more and more. And the closer it got to like when she passed away, like she'd never had anxiety or anything before. And like, she got super anxious in the last like couple months to where like, if I like left the room for like more than like 5 minutes, she would like stress. And if she wasn't sleeping, but like, she would like get like, which is like super weird seeing her like anxious.
Did she know, like, did she know why she was?
No, I mean, some of it had to do with her breathing because her lungs would start to fill with fluid.
Yeah, but Tanner had that too, and it was really scary for him.
Yeah, and so not being able to breathe was
that's a little scary.
But no, and sometimes I don't know, like she didn't even know because she was just like, I don't know what's going on, but like I just like, just get super anxious, which is so foreign for her and for me because we would never really get anxious about things in general.
Yeah. I want to rewind a little bit because I want to know how you guys met and like what dating M was like. Sure.
She had done like a semester abroad in New York, and the family that ran that program happened to be one of my friends. It was his parents. And we met at their house. It's like him to be, I call him up and I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? And he's like, oh, we're just having some people over. It turns out it was like this like reunion for like all the people that had gone to like
some people over.
Yeah. And I knew some of the people that had gone. So I knew a couple people there and stuff, but like, I didn't know it was that. So me and some of my friends went there and we were like, and it was like to recruit people also to like, that were interested in going. And so I'm like not outgoing at all. And so I just kind of stuck to the people that like I knew.
Yeah.
And she was way more outgoing, approached me and was like, hey, you look familiar. Have we met? And I'm like a very visual person. I'm very good with faces. And I was just like, nope. Like super smooth. Right. And so she's like, all right.
Nope. Okay.
And then like walked away. And then like, I think my friend was like, dude, what was that? And then I was like, I should probably go like mend that. Cause that was super awkward. And so I went and talked to her later and I like got her number and stuff. Cause I thought she was cute. And then, we dated for a bit and then she left, to Taiwan for a year. And so we just like, architecture school is like really brutal. And so I was like, just preparing for that. Actually, I was doing all the classes to apply to get into it. And so I was just super busy. And so we would just like Skype and talk online.
Okay. So you dated long distance.
Basically, like it was kind of like, we kind of fell off a little bit when she first left, but then we just started talking a bunch like after she left, and then it kind of like sparked it back up. And then, and then I would say probably like halfway through, it kind of became like, all right, like I'm not going to, I like didn't date anybody while she was gone. And then traveled out there when the group of teachers were done for their like year. And then I went out there and then we traveled around for
You dated long distance for a year?
So like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And then she was gone for a year. I'd say like the first bit I dated and stuff. Okay. And then but we still talked, and she came home for Christmas. I would say that's probably when and we hung out like all the time to where then I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to hang out with anybody else.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So after Taiwan, what happened?
Taiwan, she came back and we were dating. We dated for a year, then got married.
Okay. Oh, you dated for a year. That's long in the Mormon world. Yep. That's long.
I could say I'm probably like more of like a slow going, let it ride, I guess. Yeah. But
how many kids do you have?
3.
Okay. And how old were they when Em died?
Okay, so our youngest was almost 5. She was turning 5 like 2 months later. So she was still 4. 8 and 9.5.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. And how did they do with cancer? And then, well, we'll start with cancer.
Sure. I mean, our youngest, that's like what she knew. She was diagnosed with cancer when she was a year. Basically, like a year. So she stopped breastfeeding once she was diagnosed. That's kind of all she ever knew was mom with cancer.
Yeah.
And for the most part, like she was pretty healthy though. Like that last year, which in some ways, like I think it kind of like I don't think it was such a stark blow to the kids because I was the like full-time caretaker, but they looked to me like I was helping them with, like she could help like with certain things, but for the most part, like I'm taking them places, I'm running them places. If it's like volunteering in school or whatever, like it was me, I'm making food. I was like doing all that already. Yeah. So I don't think it was such like a big transition when she actually like passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, for the last little bit, she was doing treatments a bunch and she was sleeping a bunch. So it was like, they weren't seeing her like a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be honest, I think that's a lot of what they remember is her having cancer. I mean, we have loads of pictures, we have videos, and stuff that we watch, and we have stuff hung up on the walls, and, yeah, we see those things, but I mean, something just came up a couple weeks ago where I was like asking them about memories and even just asking like, so when you picture mom, if we talk about mom, like, what is that like, what do you think of in your head or something? And my middle one, he was like, I remember her like in her bed, because we had like a hospital bed in the bedroom, which is sad that's like
hard
the way they remember.
Yeah.
And they have pictures. Like, I remember I had this like grandiose idea of like, after she passed, I was like, well, I want to get you guys like iPad. Well, he had like an iPad that they would share for stuff. And I was like, well, I want you each to have like your own. And I'm just going to fill them full of pictures and like videos and stuff, thinking like and I was like, I'll give you unlimited time on the Photos app or whatever. So you can like look at those, and like they have them saved as like their backgrounds, which is cute still. That's like still how they have them saved. And they'll update them sometimes, but yeah, they didn't really look through the photos like I thought they would. Yeah. Like I probably do.
I think, did you post about your son, your interaction with your son? Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah, that one hit kind of hard because I didn't realize like it would be so. It feels quick to me. I mean, it's been it's like 2.5 years, almost 3 years, but I don't know, just because I remember a lot.
Yeah. You had a long time with her and time before cancer. What was the last few months like for you and for her? Like, did either of you come to terms with where?
Yeah, I think it started to like maybe a week before she actually passed away. She's like, I think we maybe need to talk about like, what if this doesn't like, and I was like fine to talk about it, but it like something came up to where like, I don't know, like it was like, yeah, we'll talk about it. Like, sure. Yeah. And then we ended up not, because it was like for like the week before it was pretty rough, but the couple months before it was rough. She had a really good like couple of months, and got through like the new year, and she was doing better. She was almost, cause she had spent a while not being able to like really stand or walk because of like I said, like a broken back and stuff. And she had issues with like her hips cause it had like been in her hip, but she was getting to the point where she could stand and like get dressed herself. So she was like improving, and she was like, all right, cause our anniversary is in May. So this is in January. She booked us a trip to Maui, because we wanted to still move to Maui. There's like this house that we had found and stuff. And so she's like, let's go to Maui, and just like, visualizing like, even if I'm like in a wheelchair or whatever, like we're going. And I was like, okay, let's just make sure we get travel insurance. But,
oh my gosh, the story of my life with Tanner.
Yeah. Cause I was like, all right, like, it's not like, just say like, let's anyways. And then a couple weeks later, she like woke up to her in the middle of the night having a seizure, which is like the first time for that. That's like,
oh, that's traumatic.
Awful. Like, I don't like when I hear people that say that deal with their kids or something having seizures. I'm like, that is, and they're probably used to it and like numb at this point, but like, that was like, and cause she had them multiple times, but that's like the worst. Like that was the only time where we had like an ambulance. Like I like didn't know what to do. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. We had a few people, and we had like a good group, and there was one of our really good friends lived down the street. She was a nurse and would leave her phone like on. This is so nice of her, but cause she knew sometimes things could get bad in the night. And so she would leave her phone specifically on like, I guess not silent. What is that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Regular.
Yeah, regular. So that if anything came up in the night, it would wake her up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there was a couple other nurses too that would come to the house for certain treatments and stuff. And I was just like calling people like, what do I do? Like, but that was super traumatic because I had started sleeping in another room so that we could sleep better.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the middle of the night to like, I could hear something like a faint something. And she had fallen out of her bed because she was like, don't know. Cause we didn't have like cameras in there or anything like that, but she had a seizure, had fallen out of her bed. And she was like, kind of not, when you have a seizure and you come back, it's like the post-ictal phase. You're kind of like not really with it. And she was just like saying stuff, but she was like on the floor and she was like banging on the wall trying to get my attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, super traumatic. And then she ended up having I got her back in the bed and then she had another seizure because she had like I guess a tumor. It was on her skull. So not like in her brain, but the theory was that it was just like pushing and just creating pressure. And so from then it seemed like it was kind of like a downhill. Like it was like one step forward, like two steps back kind of thing. Like we'd get out of the hospital, which was sometimes a battle too with like, it was this like blessing and a curse almost. Like you'd go to the hospital and to get like the immediate care like that you'd need. And like they would treat that. And it was always so good.
Yeah.
Super grateful for it. But the longer we stayed in the hospital, she would like get worse because it was like, they would come in and talk to her and stuff and be like, you're dying.
It's bad for the spirit.
Yeah. It was like, she would get worse. So we were like, we just need to get home. And whenever we'd get home, she would do so much better. Like initially it was great because you'd have like a blood transfusion or something that like she would need. But there was a doctor there that like, I like dread the seizure one. When she had those first seizures, I would like get anxious. That was the only time in my life that I would feel like anxious and almost like
with that specific
like
doctor?
That I had to like fight almost like when he would come in. Cause he was just like, I hated his bedside manner so much.
My gosh. Some doctors, I think because they've been in it for so long, they're kind of assholes a little bit.
And I mean the data, like doctors are very like data driven.
Totally.
It's like
logic.
It's very much like, she has stage 4 cancer. Like she's not coming back from this. We were told that so many times, which is super annoying because like I personally like know people that have had stage 4 cancer that are good now.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you can't like, I understand the data shows that, but like, I don't feel like that's helpful to like tell people, especially when you're coming from the point of like, you're the expert or you're the kind of like authority. Yeah. And you tell people something like they're most likely going to believe you. And if they believe, but for the most part, that was the only really bad like interaction with the doctor. But it just seemed like from there, whether her lungs and she had actually started, her lungs had started filling up with fluid like 6 months before that. And when she went to first get them drained, they had told her like, this is just going to start becoming more and more often that you come in. But there was like, she went in like, I don't know, like a month later. And then it was like 4 or 5 months she went without. Like,
oh, wow.
So it was good. And to where it's like interactions like that. And you go to the doctors and then they hear that. They're like, oh,
that's wow.
That's, interesting. Cause they were just like very much like, it's very linear for them. Like this and then this and then this. So like I said, that was kind of part of that, like where she started to do better and was getting better. And then the last, there was like a 3-month stint where it just got awful.
Yeah. If you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to know. I think final moments are so sacred. So if you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to hear it. If not, that's okay too.
Yeah, no, I mean, so in some ways I wish the final moments were more sacred in this case. So she passed away on a Sunday and it was like, it's Palm Sunday. So the Sunday before Easter.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I have a lot of like, I don't love that time of year, which a lot of people with like Easter, they're like, it's this hope and stuff. And I'm like, oof, just like triggers. Cause my birthday was like, we went into the ER on my birthday. It was March 28th. It's my birthday. We went into the ER and I was like, please don't die like on my birthday. And then
please don't.
Yeah. And then that was kind of like a bit in the hospital. It's like, it's so interesting because we're leaving the hospital, and initially they're like, yeah, just go home on home health, and not hospice. And then her oncologist came and was like, I don't know, I think you might want to switch to hospice. You can always go off or whatever, but like you may want to switch to that. So then I'm talking with our nurse friend in the hospital as we're like getting ready to leave. And I'm like, I don't know, should we like switch to hospice? By this, she's at this point, she was having a really hard time, her body like getting rid of the like sedation and stuff. So where she was still just like super out of it, like hard to talk to and stuff. So I'm making like all the decisions, which is sucks.
Yeah.
She chimes in like, cause I'm talking to this friend, and then just like, I don't know, like, what do you think? Like, we're all set up right now. If we go on hospice, then we're gonna have to wait longer, cause then the hospice people have to come. And like, we were like ready to leave basically. And then she's been out of it, hasn't been very responsive a lot of this time. And then just looks over and she's like, stop talking about me like I'm dying. I'm not dying. And just like, yeah, just like chimes in, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all right. And she hadn't talked that much and stuff. And so then we go home, and the home health person comes and is like, I think you should switch to hospice. Yeah. Just cause there's some other things I didn't know. I don't know if did Tanner pass away in the hospital or at home?
Hospice.
Oh,
home hospice.
Home. Yeah. So like if they don't pass away, or if they're not on hospice at home, like you have to call the police. Like,
oh.
And so the police have to come. Oh, wow. Like to your house. It's like, so that's what the one lady, she was like, I think just like, I'm not saying she's dying. She's like, but just in case, she's like, you have kids, like it can be more traumatic. Yeah. If you're like, the police show up to your house and stuff, and they have to like ask you questions. It's like, I had no clue about any of that until she explained it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just switch to hospice. So I called the hospice guy, and he's like, yeah, I can come out. Like, I think it was like that. I called him like that morning or something. I don't remember. Or he could come out the next day. I'm iffy on the timeline. So we're at home. My parents, so we live in St. George. We don't live by any family. My parents are there. Her parents come down, I think like that day or that Sunday. I can't remember if it's but anyways, this is on a Saturday. We would go on walks all the time. That was kind of like how she would, like when she would feel anxious, like we'd go on walks. So thankful that we lived in St. George, because this was like that was the winter where it just like snowed like crazy up here. And like we wouldn't have been able to just like, I couldn't push her like through like feet of snow and stuff. And so really thankful for where we lived, because that was like that helped her a lot. But I remember going on a walk with her the day before, and kind of like starting to kind of like, cause she wasn't really like, whenever we'd get home, she would always come out. Like she would always like bounce back and get really good. And she didn't seem to be bouncing back. Yeah. And so we're on a walk, and I like stop for a minute, and I just kind of like get down, and I'm like, hey, like, and she was really intuitive, very intuitive. Like, and so I'm like, hey, are you like staying with us? Like, what do you, like, you usually like kind of know this stuff. Like, what are you feeling? And she was just like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. And then, so yeah, we just walked. And then the next day she was like, just kind of sat on the couch and wasn't responsive. Like she wouldn't talk, but she would kind of like recognize, like, cause whenever I would go in front of her, she would like see me, and like, she'd kind of like light up and like, oh yeah, she'd like hug me and stuff, but like, she wouldn't talk. Yeah. She'd just sit on the couch. We're watching like general conference. And so, yeah, just kind of sat on the couch and just like blank stare all day. So I don't feel like there really was that like last kind of like moments, because, we came back, I took the kids just out of the house for a minute down to the park, and I came back a few minutes before they did. And it seemed like she was starting to move, and I was like, oh, this is it. Like she's coming out of it. And then her like oxygen levels started to drop. And so then I was like, oh crap. Like the kids came home, and I was like, I don't want them to see her die. Like, so it was like this like mad rush. Like we just like got her back in like the bedroom and in her bed. And And yeah, I mean, she had like an oxygen machine. I feel like kind of like a little like naive. I'm like doing everything I can, right? Like cranking up her oxygen to like to see if that would work, and it wasn't. And yeah, she passed away. And yeah, I don't feel like there was that kind of like, I don't know, like because it still seemed like a surprise. Like probably a lot of other people, it didn't seem like a surprise because she looked like pretty sick. Yeah, but we just had a bunch of these like really unique experiences to where I was just like full confident. Like, I'm like, no, she's like making it through this. She's making it through this. So like those things never really like, I don't know. I just like believed in that. Yeah. And so then when it finally did happen, it was like a pretty big shock. Yeah. Yeah. I remember one, I went and like snuck a picture, but yeah, it's pretty cute. Like, my oldest, just like, it's like cute, but it's awful. Like I have this like memory too of it. And like I said, like I'm pretty visual. And so I took this picture of her just like, you know, like resting her head, like on her like dead mom's body, like saying goodbye. Yeah. It's like so awful. Like I wish that on like nobody.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's like a tender moment, like where she's like hugging her mom and saying goodbye, but like also like so bad.
Oh yeah, I remember those moments with Tanner. I just love that she would just light up every time, even that close to dying, that she would just light up when she's like would see you. Yeah. Yeah, I was the only one that could like calm Tanner down, you know, when he like was agitated near the end of life. And so it feels good to be that person for them. Yeah.
It's like good and also could be like frustrating sometimes, because sometimes I just like wanted to like go on a walk or something. I'm like, I just need to like decompress and something, but like, but yeah, she would get, if she was away from me for like too long, like even like when she was coherent, like she wanted like me there, like, and she had come a long way and like receiving care from other people and like her sisters and stuff. Like she had been okay with that, but yeah, it's like when you're like their person, like, yeah, they just want you there.
Yeah. Yep. I know how that is. Yeah, I remember one night in particular, when Tanner was on hospice, his parents were over trying to help him at night, and I was sleeping because I had just had a baby. I think let's see, it was probably Amy Lou was like 5 weeks old, and so I was like, trying to sleep. Yeah. But Tanner's dad Tom came in and got me, and he was like, "Shay, we need you. Tanner is just so agitated." And I like walked into the living room, and Tanner's like, "Shay, help me. My parents are losing their minds." And Tanner's like butt naked. They're trying to help him go to the bathroom. And he was like, "Shay, my parents are losing it. Help." Which is like, it was kind of comical, but also kind of traumatic at the same time. But
yeah. And when you're there, it just reminded me, but you can hold that thought. But like, yeah, like when you're their caregiver, it's like, and you know, like the ins and outs of like everything. Like when we were in the hospital, like I would be the one, like the nurses would like try to like adjust her and stuff. And
you're like, no, let me do it. This is how you do it.
Let me do it. Like, because like
I know what she likes. Yeah. I know what she doesn't like. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, what has grieving looked like for you from like when the event of M dying to, you know, planning her funeral and everything after that? What's it been like for you?
Yeah. Planning the funeral sucked. I was just still in like shock from it happening, because I wasn't prepared like mentally for that, because like I said, I always just thought she was. Yeah. So in some ways, like it's not as, she was sick, so in some ways I was probably like somewhat prepared for it. It's different than somebody just like suddenly dying in like an accident or something, but not ready for like to go to the funeral home like the next day and them asking me like, yeah, who do you want to talk at her funeral? And I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. And I don't care. Like she died. Yes. Like last night, like it was like less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Just it just like felt so weird, because they're asking me these questions and they're like, let's go choose out her casket. And I'm like,
yay.
Right? Like,
okay.
And not loving any of the casket options, but yeah, I mean, I have a story behind the casket stuff too that I've shared about, but as far as like grief, like in grieving, like that first little bit it was just kind of like survival to where like, I don't know how much of that is like truly like grief. It's just like, I don't know, like just your world is just like turned upside down. And to me, like, I don't know if I found it like I was bothered by it, but when people would tell me, cause like, I mean, I had these like 3 beautiful kids and they're like amazing, but like, she was like my everything. Like, that's where it was hard. Cause like, she was for sure like the better parent, like 100%. And like, I would follow her lead on that. And like, I'd give her like, in an interaction, I'd be like, so what should I have done differently there? Cause that didn't seem like it went right. But like, she was just like, yeah, my everything. And so like, it always would bug me when people would be like, yeah, but you have like your kids. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But like this, like half of me is like gone. Like, yeah. And so it was rough. I think we got sick pretty soon after that and just like running on no sleep, and like being the one to like, once again, like, I mean, that's kind of how it was when she was sick, but when you're just like a solo parent and you're also sick and you're having to take care of like sick kids. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm really, really grateful that we had done a bunch of this like training and like neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, got like certified in that stuff like a couple of years before, she passed away. And I feel like that definitely helped me like process stuff and like my like mental, like being able to like manage my emotions better and like focus better and things. But I mean, yeah, but sometimes it's like almost like an out of body experience. Cause there are some times where I would be just like really angry and I would like know, like I could I'm like, I'm angry. I'm acting ridiculous and I just don't care. And that's like that's kind of how like grief, it's like, it's weird. And I feel like I'm at this like baseline now to where it's like, I don't get super excited about stuff and I don't get like super low. I'm just kind of like in this like middle ground of like, it's hard for me to get really excited about stuff. Not that I'm like depressed or like whatever, like I can still be happy. I just don't like, sometimes people are really like excited and I'm like, cool. Like, yeah. Like it puts a damper on things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like it stacks. I've been thinking about this, especially recently. Just went through like another like layoff, but yeah, just, I feel like in general, and that for me over the last few years, it's like, if something seems bad or like I'm dealing with something that's like, I guess like perceived like negative, it seems like that's when grief kind of like, it like stacks on it. It's like, then I'm reminded of like, oh yeah, like this, or I don't have like my person or something. And so, yeah. Sometimes I think to myself, I don't think I should have to go through anything else hard. Like, I think God should give me a pass. But yeah, I don't think that's reality, but I really wish it was. It is, to that extent too, like you've gone through like the worst thing that like, at least that's like how I envision it. I'm like, well, it can't get like worse than that. Oh God, don't say that. We can't knock on wood. Yeah. But yeah, I've, cause I'm sure you've probably seen some of this too, or maybe in like your, like psychology stuff, but I was reading this book once that was talking about stressful event, like managing stress. And it was like, yeah, you can get, like give yourself like a score, like a stress score. And like the number one most stressful thing was losing a spouse was more than, I mean, there's other stuff up there, but it was like, at least in this book that had the highest stress score was a spouse, not like a child or like a parent or like whatever it was. And so you've been through the most stressful. Yay thing. For us. Still are going through it. Yeah. As a solo parent. So. Okay. Last question for you.
I want to know like your most beautiful memory of M, like where she was just, you just looked at her and you're just like, wow, you're just so beautiful.
I mean, a lot.
Good.
I get the one that comes specific. There was two, but then one really stuck in my mind. So it was when we were living in Cancun. She was writing a book, and she was submitting it for like a contest, for like a Hay House, like publishing contest thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had to take some headshots. And so we just went out like in the place where we were living and just like, and I take photos. So I just like took a few headshots. And it's funny because there's like a whole string of them. There's like some with me, like making her laugh and stuff. But yeah, she just looked really pretty. That's like, that was all the images that we printed these really big photos of her for like her funeral and stuff. And, yeah. And that's like, we had a closed casket because like initially we weren't going to, but I was like, no, I don't want people to like remember her like cancer ridden and stuff like body. I want them to remember her like that. Yeah. And so,
cause that's what, I mean, getting religious, that's what she'll look like.
Yeah. And so I would say probably that she has this like necklace, that she would always wear. And it's in that picture and it says God is in the details. So that was like her thing. And yeah, so probably that. And it's just like, it's like a bunch of different stacks. Like we were living in Cancun. So it's like kind of like that. And she was pursuing this thing, like writing a book. And yeah, so I'd say probably that. We have a lot of pictures. So there's a lot, especially like out in the wilderness. That was like where she was like, there's like another one. We're at Glacier National Park and we went on this like hike thingy and she would often like go and like stand like on ledges and just like stick her arms out.
Oh, I love that.
Breathe in there. But yeah.
Well, Colby, thank you for sharing your story and M's story. She is a beautiful person. So thank you for coming and sharing.
Yeah.